Hello, ANIA attendees. My name is Justin Mitchell. I am the Director of Marketing and Strategic Communications for DataRay Inc. And we'd like to thank you for stopping by our booth. I'm going to take just a few quick minutes and just give you a brief overview of our informatics solutions that we deploy and interface at hospitals and clinics across the country. In short, anything barcoding and printing we do. So we have solutions for inpatient and outpatient pharmacies, wristbanding solutions, laboratory solutions, that's accession and collection solutions, as well as some solutions that are pretty specific to other departments inside hospitals and clinics. But I'm just going to spend a few minutes kind of running down our most popular and kind of our biggest solutions that we deploy across the country. First one being our pharmacy safety print IV printing solution. As you can see there at the bottom, we have a couple examples. One is a standard pharmacy output. So this is probably the output that may look similar to the current output that your pharmacy is printing IVs with. And then right next to it is the DataRay output. Now, one thing that's important to keep in mind here, all of our solutions are done with what we call the DataRay D3 interface. This allows us to support all of these solutions that I'm going to be talking about here over the next few minutes remotely. That means it takes it off of your IT staff. We'll get into a little bit more of the support at the end of the video. But also we have built-in downtime solutions to all of these solutions. So what you're seeing here, if your EHR goes down, you have the ability to still continue to print these labels and these solutions even when the EHR is down. And once it's back up, you can go in and input that information into your EHR, but it keeps you from handwriting labels, which is the thing that we want to eliminate in these facilities as much as possible. So just wanted to have that real quick note before we get started. But again, this is our pharmacy safety print solution. You have the standard pharmacy output right here, and then an example of one of our DataRay safety print IV labels. As you can see here, this is not marketing or anything like that we're doing. We do print these labels in color with automatic built-in tall man lettering. So if that was a look-alike, sound-alike medication, they'd have automatic tall man lettering there. You have your 2D barcode there for barcode medication administration. We're also able to add what we call dynamic alerts here. So right there, that's if it is a high alert medication, we'll work with your pharmacist to put together a list of high alert meds so they know if the nurses or the pharmacist or whoever it is sees that high alert logo right there, they know to check to make sure that it is a high alert med, that's a high alert dosage, it's a high alert patient, making sure that it's the right patient getting that drug. Also, one thing with the USB 797 and 800 series guidelines that have come out, we do the custom graphic there for NIOSH biohazard drugs. So if it's maybe a chemo medication, it is a biohazardous drug, it will automatically, whenever that IV is print, the pharmacist doesn't have to do anything. It automatically prints that graphic right there to show that this is a NIOSH biohazard drug. And one thing we like to see, you can probably see there at the bottom of the screen, just by glancing at it, which label is the hazardous drug? Which label is the high alert medication? It's basically, unless you were a pharmacist or just happen to be looking for it, it's impossible to tell with this one. But right there, thanks to the dynamic alerts, you're able to see very clearly. So that's an example of our pharmacy safety print solution. Next one would be our MedBand wristband solution. We've spent years developing our wristband solution and our wristband stock that we think is pretty daggum good. Free samples are available. We'd love to send some of those out there to you so you can take a look and feel those for yourself. But it has multiple barcodes for efficient scanning. So we have, as you can see, for your BCMA barcodes as well as your glucometer barcodes, there's several barcodes spread out throughout the length of the wristband. That way you're able to walk up and scan that patient's wristband for whatever they need without moving their arm, without stirring them, without waking them, which is very important. It includes 7 technologies for the highest barcode read rate. And we also do some special formatting and programming. So if you have special formatting requests, we're able to accommodate those very easily and also remotely. So if you want to change something, we're able to do that just by making a phone call. And we also do certain things to help with workflow, like hard coding your scanners and your glucometers to only read. So the glucometer would only read this barcode, it would not misscan. And your BCMA scanners would only read this barcode and wouldn't misscan that. So it saves a lot of time, training, and adoption headaches that go along with those things. We also have several different options as far as adult, child, and infant sizes available. So we have a mama baby band solution. We have ped bands. We have several adult style. So if you like the class style wristband, we have those available as well. Now we're getting into the accession and what we call the room collect. So this is the laboratory focused solutions that we have. The accession obviously would be the accession printer inside the laboratory. And I'm going to click through and give you an example of, and this is an example of a lot of our solutions utilize these Zebra GX430 printers. This is an example of, in your case, if you were to deploy this in your facility moving forward, the box here at the bottom would probably be white. That's an example of our DataRay D3 interface. But right here we have our accession plus label layout here. As you can see, you have the patient's name, all the pertinent information. You have the barcode here for all of your testing equipment. So all your analyzers, we would coordinate and make sure that obviously our label works with that. Everything interfaces, everything talks to each other. But one thing, and you can ask your lab directors or your lab techs this, what we do is we add this barcode right here. And what this allows those lab techs to do, and you can see an example of this person doing it, we'll put a tabletop scanner that will likely look a little bit different than this one inside your lab connected to your D3 interface. And let's say that your lab tech, for whatever reason, needs to reprint this accession label. Well, right now, probably in your laboratory, they'd have to go back in the lab system and manually reprint that label. But with DataRay, all they have to do is use that scanner to scan that barcode on the side, and it will instantly reproduce that label. Take the time and walk over and ask your lab director or your lab techs if they would enjoy that function. They absolutely love it. It helps so much with workflow purposes. So that's a function that the lab techs and lab directors absolutely love. Moving on to the room collect. So the collection labels, we can work with any current WOWs or carts that you have. Or a lot of times we like to put these in patient rooms to be able to meet TJC Joint Commission guidelines as far as printing and affixing labels in the presence of the patient. This allows us to do that. And nurses love these as well. I'm going to click through here and kind of blow up and show you a big version of this DataRay Room Collect label. It has all the patient demographic information on it. Has the test here as well as, you know, the tube type. So if it is a blood, nurses love that. And just a spot right down here where you can initial, date, time here. And then we give barcodes here at the bottom for your lab directors to be able to, once they get those labels inside their lab, they're able to use scanners and scan these barcodes down here. This is an example specific to a hospital in Arizona. But in this case, this allowed them to scan to check to make sure there was no add-on orders. So they scanned this barcode. It took them directly to that page in their lab information system. And they were able to scan this barcode right here to immediately go to the accessioning portion of their lab information system and start to process that order. So as you can see, very clearly printed, and it gives a lot of information that the clinical staff or the phlebotomist or those lab techs need to process that order. We eliminate handwriting as much as possible, and it keeps those phone calls from your ER nurses or your inpatient nurses to a lab going, hey, what's going on? Where's my results? Where's my test? And so we try to eliminate those phone calls and those errors as much as possible. Now, a little bit real quick as we wrap up in the DataRay support, I touched on it a little bit at the beginning of the video, but these DataRay solutions add for a single vendor to be used for your barcoding system-wide. So we are your single vendor that we come in and interface and deploy these thermal printers and scanners, make sure everything talks to each other. we can format and interface to any EHR. That's important to keep in mind. So even if you're thinking of changing EHRs in the future, we can interface to that EHR. We can help you as far as working with that new EHR vendor to get all the information that we need and you need, and we make that very easy for you. We're built for reliability with built-in downtime systems. I touched on that at the beginning, and safeguards that keep all of your settings when power is lost. They allow us to support and troubleshoot problems with each system remotely without the help from your IT staff. So that's a big one as well. Our average national uptime is 99.99%. And you're talking to a call center, not even a call center, you're talking to technical support staff in Oklahoma. So you're talking to you're going to have an integrated technical response within 15 minutes on average. I would say that on average, that's even sooner than that. And 90% of DataRay call tickets are fully resolved within 2 hours. So it's reliable, that built-in support, that built-in downtime, and we take care of all the headaches that go along with supporting these thermal printers that you have throughout your facilities for you. And we would love to help. Again, my name is Justin Mitchell. I'm the Director of Marketing and Strategic Development for DataRay. That's my contact information here. I believe you're able to pull that up in our booth as well. And there's also the chat area going on. So if this is during the open vendor or the exhibitor time, I'll be in there answering questions. And there's also within those resources tabs, you're able to download some of the literature that you saw on here, as well as some PDFs of some of our other solutions. So thanks for stopping by, and have a great rest of your conference.